first tell us how's the family doing? How are you and your loved ones with all that's going on around the world these days? How are you guys doing?
Well, we're blessed, obviously. We get a chance to spend a lot of time together. So I'm quarantined down here in Florida with my wife and my two kids, and stay in contact with my other three kids via the phone. But my family's doing well. Mom, brothers, sisters, everybody's doing well. So we're very blessed, especially with what's going on in the world. And look, our hearts and our prayers go out to all the tragedies and the families that are enduring this unbelievable tragedy that's happening to America and to the world.
To the world. And thank you for that. And it's something that people feel, and they're looking for a distraction, if you will. And it's great that this series has been moved up. It was supposed to debut later, but people were just clamoring for something to give them inspiration and hope. And this docuseries really does this. It chronicles that final championship run, that final time that together with the Bulls. Michael, what do you remember most about that final year?
Well, it was a trying year. We all were trying to enjoy that year, knowing that it was coming to an end. I was hoping that, the beginning of the season, it basically started when Jerry Krause told Phil that, he can go 82-0 and he would never get the chance to come back. And, knowing that I married myself to him, obviously, and if he wasn't going to be a coach, then, obviously I wasn't going to play. So Phil started off the year by saying this is the last dance, and we played it that way. So mentally it just it tugged at you throughout the course of the year, but that this had to come to an end. But it also centered our focus to making sure we end it right. So, as sad as it sounded at the beginning of the year, we tried to rejoice and enjoy the year and finish it off the right way.
And it was quite a year, and the docuseries really profiles that, and also goes back and we see a young Michael Jordan. I love seeing your mother and seeing her doing so well. And when you were at North Carolina, like a typical college kid, you wrote her a letter and you were apologizing for the phone bill and asking her to send stamps. What did you learn about yourself during those college years, Michael, that stayed with you?
Well, I think that, it's a little different today. Quite frankly, I had a phone bill that was probably $60 or a little less, and I only had $20 in my account. So, and the thing that, people are going to learn, and, my kids laugh about it when they see it, but we used postage stamps back in those days, where, I had to ask my mom to send me postage stamps. So, looking at the video, you're going to see a lot of things that people tend to forgot, that life was this way. We didn't have Instagram, we didn't have Twitter. So, you had to live life as it came, and each day you preciously protected it, and you learn the education aspect, spending time with friends and family. It wasn't via the phone, it was actually in presence, and you wrote letters, so, to me, that's probably the most refreshing thing. That my mom, she kept all my letters. So, it's somewhat embarrassing, but yet it's refreshing that I took the time to write a letter and say, how much I love my mom and, what I needed in college.
Yeah, it was very sweet to hear her read one of your letters like that. And in college, of course, the buzzer beater, 82, winning the national title. You said in the documentary that was the moment that you went from Mike to Michael Jordan. What did you mean by that?
Well, up until that point, no one knew who I was. I was a college kid, other than the university. But outside the university, I was just known as Mike Jordan. And when I hit that shot, my whole name became Michael Jordan, and I think it resonated with a lot of people outside of UNC. So, and I just started piling on that name itself from the successes that I endured, throughout the rest of my career. It wasn't about Michael. It wasn't about Mike. It was more about Michael. Yeah.
All right, really great to see Robin Roberts there and Michael Jordan together. And guys, we're going to talk about this a lot, but one moment stood out to me specifically when he identified the moment he went from Mike to Michael Jordan. He was a freshman, 82, hitting that game winner. at North Carolina. Stephen A., was that the moment for you that he became MJ in your eyes?
Well, you could say that. For me, it was when he dropped 63 at Boston Garden against Larry Bird and the Celtics, who were 40-1 at home in 1986 in a playoff game. Double overtime, had 54 in regulation, ultimately ended up with 63. And Larry Bird, I'm paraphrasing here, Greeny, I think he said he was God in basketball shorts. I mean, this is what it was. I mean, that to me was when MJ became MJ. But what I would tell you is that when he said he became Michael instead of just Mike, there's legitimacy to that, because if you recall, it wasn't just about his willingness to take that shot. And I think it was like 15 seconds left on the clock, 16 or something like that. But North Carolina had already had James Worthy. That was the All-American. That was the dude coming out of North Carolina that ultimately would get drafted #1 by the Los Angeles Lakers. But it was also who they were going against. They were going against Patrick Ewing, who had to be called to the sideline by Coach John Thompson to calm him down, because he got called for like 3 or 4 goaltendings early in the game, just looking to swat everything out of the arena. He was trying to calm him down because Patrick Ewing had arrived on the scene as well. Georgetown, Hoya Paranoia, John Thompson and the crew. The fact that Dean Smith was looking for his first national title. All of those storylines was involved in that particular game. Jordan closed the deal and put his name on the map and let everybody know, here this kid comes, no question about it. But there were other storylines surrounding him. The fact that he stood out above the crowd with that game-winning shot in that kind of environment with a bevy of storylines associated with it is what did it for him. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.